And to the people who really do believe that God's chosen people rape, murder, destroy, pillage, lie, deceive, blackmail, Jeffrey Epstein, all of our politicians, buy, purchase, threaten, manipulate, goodness, you may really want to crack open a Bible if you think that those are the signs of God's chosen people. Yeah, no, it shouldn't take you a theology course. Just take a little bit of common sense to tell you that no, that is not what God's chosen people do.
Do you swear on the Constitution of the United States to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Ain't no thing.
I'm sorry. My responses are limited. You must ask the right questions.
Who are the people? Who are the modern? Yes, who are the descendants? So we know.
That, detective, is the right question.
Berean Scholar. Berean Scholar. Berean Scholar. Waking up the people of the Most High. I got the knowledge to destroy the lies. DNA history, open eyes. Walk into the darkness and turn on the lights.
Warning. The following video are for commentary purposes only. Fair use.
So it's just a really strange thing to say that evangelicals are like, I stand with Israel unequivocally. It's like, guys, they're sinful people.
Well, what comes on the end of that typically is this next statement, which is because they're God's people.
Yes. And you hear things like that, and it just goes to show precisely what you landed on. Unequivocal support because they are God's chosen people.
It's a theological commitment.
That's right.
Exactly right.
And so we need to ask the question. And so let's go to the Bible itself to ask the question, does the Bible give to us this idea that the modern evangelical has today in the West about the state of Israel today, the people in the land of Israel today? Does it give us the idea that we have been raised with in evangelicalism? And I want to say, no. No.
No. No. Didn't see that coming.
Growing up in Sunday school, I was taught from the Bible, those who bless Israel will be blessed, and those who curse Israel will be cursed. And from my perspective, I want to be on the blessing side of things.
Of those who bless the government of Israel?
Those who bless Israel is what it says. It doesn't say the government of, it says the nation of Israel. So that's in the Bible. As a Christian, I believe that.
Where is that?
I can find it to you. I don't have the scripture off the tip of my... You pull out the phone and use the Google.
It's in Genesis. So you're quoting a Bible phrase. You don't have context for it and you don't know where in the Bible it is, but that's like your theology? I'm confused. What does that even mean?
Tucker.
I'm a Christian. I want to know what you're talking about.
Okay. Where does my support for Israel come from? Number one, because biblically we're commanded to support Israel. But number two...
Hold on.
I'm not holding on.
Hold on. You're a senator, and now you're throwing out theology, and I am a Christian, and I am allowed to weigh in on this. We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel. And we're
What does that mean, Israel?
We're told those who bless Israel will be blessed.
But what... Hold on. Define Israel. This is important. Are you kidding? This is a majority Christian country.
Define Israel? Do you not know what Israel is? That would be the country you've asked like 49 questions about.
So that's what Genesis, that's what God is talking about.
The nation of Israel, yes.
So is that the current borders, the current leadership? He's talking about the political entity called Israel?
He's talking about the nation of Israel. Yeah, nations exist, and he's discussing a nation. A nation was the people of Israel.
Is the nation
They're the
God's
descendants of
referring
Abraham.
to in Genesis, is that the same as the country run by Benjamin Netanyahu right
yes.
now?
The state of Israel today, the people in the land of Israel today, does it give us the idea that we have been raised with in evangelicalism? And I want to say, no. No.
No. No.
So I think it's really important to address this subject because, as I said, 92% of the people that say that they are Jews today are in fact Ashkenazi, sons of Gomer, so thereby are the synagogue of Satan, they who say they are Jews and are not. So who are the real Jews? That's the question that has been posed to me many times over the past months. Who are the real Jews?
But the second question is every bit as pressing, which is who are the people? Who are the modern? Yes. Who are the descendants? So we know, and I believe, and I agree with you as a Christian, that God promised this land from modern day Iraq to modern day Egypt to this people, the Jews, to Abram's, actually not to Abram's descendants, as it says in Genesis 15. Who are his descendants now, and how do we know who they are? So the current prime minister's ancestors weren't from here within recorded history. He has no deed. Bibi Netanyahu, on one side, his family's from Poland. They're from Eastern Europe. So how do we know that he has a connection to the people who God promised the land to, Abram's descendants? How do we know that?
Because, as I said, 92% of the people that say that they are Jews today are in fact Ashkenazi, sons of Gomer.
Netanyahu's parents did not speak Hebrew. Okay, they didn't live in this region. Netanyahu, the founders of this country, were mostly secular. Some of them were avowed atheists. They were not praying for the peace of Jerusalem. They weren't praying at all because they didn't believe in God. There's no genealogy linking their families to the people of this land 3,000 years ago. They're not.
Have you ever seen I'm sure you have, the compilation of Netanyahu over the years saying how close Iran is to getting a nuclear weapon?
Yeah, it's great. Have you seen, there's other compilations of him too, where he's just guaranteeing, like all his guarantees. Like there's one of him in I think it's the year before I was born, if I'm right. It's 1982. And he didn't go by Benjamin Netanyahu back then. He went by whatever his more, European sounding name was.
Why did he change names?
Well, because they all.
When?
80s, I would guess. It's got to be in the 80s. He was Netanyahu by the 90s. But in the 80s, they were still calling him whatever. I can't remember his previous name.
Why did he change his name?
Well, they all kind of, because the whole thing, Joe, is that they're all, Israel was a European, construct. But they were made by a bunch of Europeans who came over and created Israel. But then they have to claim that they're the true Semitic people.
Is it true that genetic testing is outlawed there?
I believe that is true. I believe that's true. I mean, double check me on that, but I believe it's true.
We should definitely
you need permission from the government to go get DNA tests and stuff. Because I think, and I believe...
Well, this is the problem with the term Semitic.
Mm-hmm.
Because if these are European Jewish people, this is not the exact same genetics.
That's right. And
genetic testing...
Heavily regulated.
Heavily. Here, you can get it at Walgreens.
That's right. Yeah.
And focused on medical and reproductive purposes with broad support for carrier screening and pre-implantation diagnosis. What does that mean? Pre-implantation diagnosis? This creates a system where health-related genetic testing is robust and often publicly funded, but direct-to-consumer tests for ancestry or paternity are highly restricted. Now, why would you highly restrict anything like that? If you wanted if a human being has bodily autonomy and you want to find out where your ancestors came from.
When I show you what I'm about to show you, your mind will be blown. You're going to be blindsided. Every single Israeli prime minister has a fake name. Did you know that? I was just talking about Ben Gurion. Do you know what his original name is? It's Gruen, Gruen. He changed it to make it sound more Jewish and sound more Middle Eastern. Do you know what Netanyahu's real name is? It's not Netanyahu, it's Milkovsky. I swear to God, go and look it up. You'll find Milkovsky. That's his real name. Remember what Israelis are. Israelis are European Jews. They don't come from Palestine, but they want you to make you believe. They want to make believe and make you believe that they come from this area, that they are indigenous to the land, that they're so Jewish, right? Even though they have no connection. So they changed their names. Here's another one. Moshe Sharat, his name is Chertok originally. You've got Levi Eshkol. Eshkol was Shklonik. So he changed it from Shklonik to Eshkol. Then you have Yigal Alon, his original name, Peikovitz. Golda Meir, Israel's first female prime minister. Her real name is not Golda Meir, it's Mabovich. Mabovich. More like Mad. We have Yitzhak Rabin, right? His name is not Rabin, it's Rubitsov. Are you seeing the pattern? These are Eastern European names. Not Palestinian, not Jewish, not Middle Eastern. They're Eastern European, okay?
To be Jewish is something that I'm very proud of. I think it has shaped who I am and who I aspire to be. I assume we all started off in the motherland, Israel, but a lot of people claim that.
So Zach, you are 99.6% European. 99.6% European.
99.6% European.
I'm sorry. My responses are limited. You must ask the right questions.
Who are the people? Who are the modern? Yes. Who are the descendants? So we know.
That, detective, is the right question.
In 1965, the former president of Egypt, Gamal Abdel Nasser, said he couldn't respect the present Jews in Israel because they left Israel black and they came back white. Because they were Caucasians when they returned, Turkic Mongol Asians from the Caucasus Mountains, the Russian steppes. Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5. I am black but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. I am black. The Hebrew word there is shachar ha-anya. It literally translates to, I am dark-skinned. Strong's number, and I don't use Strong's numbers very often, but there's gonna be pushback. Strong's number 7838, shachar, from Strong's number 7835, dusky. So the word shachar means dusky. And if you look in the concise Oxford English Dictionary in the 10th edition, dusky means darkish in color, euphemistic of a person black and dark-skinned. And in the Old English Dictionary, it says tending to blackness. Song of Solomon's 5, verse 11. His head is as the most pure gold, meaning it's royal, it's regal, he's kingly, he's wearing a crown. His locks are curly and as black as a raven. King Solomon, Melech Shlomo, was black. And only blacks have locks, not Caucasians, no matter what Rapunzel or what was the other one? Goldilocks would say, right?
Abram's descendants are the ones who have the right to have this land, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Why don't we do genetic testing on everybody in the land and find out who Abram's descendants are? It's really simple. We've cracked the human genome. We can do that. Why don't we do that? Would you be against doing that?
I have no idea what that would prove. I mean, maybe it would be.
What do you mean? It would prove who Abram's descendants are and who has a right to live here and who doesn't, according to the theology that you yourself just explained. And so I'm very confused as to why we don't do that if you believe the theology that you've just explained to me.
Okay, Palestinians are Canaanite, but not the descendants of Abraham. Ashkenazi Jews are European and not the descendant of Abraham, but they are Japheth. Well, who is?
Man, get in here, get in here, get in here. Did you hear about the secret study they did between the African Americans and the Ashkenazi Jew in 2013? Go and take a screenshot. Where DNA samples affirm that the Ashkenazi Jew are of European descent. Study, right? Go and take a screenshot. Now, it turns out that Israeli doctors wanted to stop European patent for genetic testing. Now, why would they want to do that? Now, you can go on and read for yourself. And this explains everything, right? Now, they've done the same test on the so-called African Americans. And it turns out that we are the so-called descendants, but they took 60% of so-called African American samples had the E1B1 gene that the so-called modern day Mizraim Jews, the Palestinians, the Dumzi, and these peoples, right? And we are the so-called ancient Israelites, or the so-called Exodus from Egypt. Did you catch that? Now, it turns out that we have Hebrew, right? Markers for Hebrew ancestry, right? But go ahead and take a screenshot. Now, they're trying to figure out how in the hell 6% of African Americans have the sample E1B1 gene. They're trying to figure this out, but they can't figure it out. That how's we as have Israelite ancestry. So we not just screaming this. We actually is it, but go ahead and take a screenshot. But this is why these peoples in North America pretending to be us.
Meanwhile, Ezra of Agleri that has maintained a dynasty, he is the 34th king in Obugad. But apart from that they have maintained this kingship and dynasty, other Israelites are equally in Igbo land. We have Zebulun, we have Ephraim, we have Menashe, we have Reuben, we have Danites. They are all here.
n'ibi bosi wa apụta bụ si n'aka eri gad bụ ụmụ Israel ma ọ bụ Israel si n'ọnwa o ma ọ bụ anyị ma ọ bụ anyị si Israel na anyị na ụmụ Israel bụ nwanne n'Igbo adọrọ n'elu n'Yoruba ma ebe a si wa apụta Hausa ma ebe a si wa apụta na anyị na bụ n'ọnwa n'Igbo adọrọ n'elu ị na-aga ị na-eme ihe ngala n'ọnwa Chineke ka ị bụ.
You walk with pride because you are a child of Adonai.
Chineke gozie unu aba ya.
Now Adonai bless us.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Igbos are Israelites. The question of Igbo being Israelites are not in doubt. There are evidences that Igbos are Israelites. The journey of Igbo started when the Assyrians actually attacked and exiled the 10 tribes of Israel, the Northern Kingdom, in 722 BCE. From that period, all the 10 tribes were scattered. The bulk, according to Mazutra, were taken to Africa. So in Igbo land, you will see most of these lost 10 tribes.
The biblical tribe of Dan that was taken away in the year 721 BCE by the Assyrian king, taken according to legends to a place called beyond the mountains, to Bikat Hayarech, the Valley of the Moon. Where is this place? No one knows. He starts telling us this incredible story, how a group of Jewish anthropologists and sociologists have been, for the last 17 years, carefully studying an isolated tribe in the Gondar region, the existence of which has been known for decades, but never been thoroughly researched. And this group of individuals, they're living an archaic form of Jewish life that hasn't been seen for over 2,500 years. You would probably call it the Judaism of the First Temple period. In other words, anything that the Jews knew about in their communal saga, their collective saga, or that they performed as part of their tradition, then that's what this group does today. But anything that has been added to the Jewish repertoire since that time, any new leaders or new institutions or major events in Jewish history that transpired after their separation from mainstream Jewish life, they know nothing about. Absolutely nothing about, because they were physically isolated and had no way of knowing. So, for instance, they knew quite a lot about Jewish life even then, for they had 1,000 years of Jewish history behind them. They knew about Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and Joseph and Pharaoh and dreams and Egypt and fat cows and skinny cows and pyramids and slavery and Moses and Red Sea and Dead Sea and Mount Sinai and 10 Commandments. And they knew about Joshua. They knew about Jericho. They knew about the prophets of Israel. They knew about the judges of Israel. They knew about the kings of Israel. They knew Saul, our first king, and they knew David, our second, and they knew Solomon the third, and they knew that Solomon was the one who on Mount Moriah had constructed some 2,900 years ago the first temple. They didn't call it the first temple because they didn't know there had been a second. They called it Solomon's temple. And there were a few other minor things that they never heard about. They knew almost nothing about synagogues because they knew about the temple in Jerusalem. And they knew nothing about rabbis because they knew about the Kohanim, the priests that served in the temple. And they knew very little about prayer because they were very much into sacrifice. They knew about the sacrifice at the time of the first temple. They knew nothing about Tzfat and Jewish mysticism and nothing about the expulsion of Spanish Jewry in 1492. They knew nothing about King Herod and the Second Temple. They knew nothing about Herzl or about Zionism or about Hitler or about the Holocaust, and they've never heard of the State of Israel. As a matter of fact, they didn't even know there was such a thing as Jews with white skin. They are the only Jews that are left. They are the remnants of Beta Israel, the house of Israel, that was dispersed 2,700 years ago. They didn't even know there was such a thing as Jews with white skin. They didn't even know there was such a thing as Jews with white skin. They didn't even know there was such a thing as Jews with white skin. They didn't even know there was such a thing as Jews with white skin. They are the only Jews that are left. They are the remnants of Beta Israel, the house of Israel, that was dispersed 2,700 years ago. God, we had to bring underwear to Shmulik's house on Saturday night to get a Bible lesson about the tribes of Israel from 2,700 years ago. He's gone on one too many missions. He's lost touch with reality. And then he says, we've discovered the tribe of Dan. And then he says, we've discovered the tribe of Dan. And then he says, we've discovered the tribe of Dan.
Picture.
So should we go to the question about conflation? What does conflation mean? Were there different kinds of conflation of Jews and blacks over time? Or should we go to the question of looking at your slides?
Well, let me quickly just deal, because the conflation is in the title of my book. And I think just to say what I mean by it would be a good introduction really to the slides. You know, there was a kind of medieval perception that Jews were black. And there's plenty of proof that within Europe, the Jews were considered to be kind of black. There are many images of Jews being black, and even if they weren't black, they were not even slightly black. They were kind of considered to be black in one way or another. So blackness and Jews really went hand in hand. If you read my work, and particularly if you read this new book, you will see the multitude of examples of it. And if you go, for instance, into the marginalia, the illustrations in English or European prayer books in the 13th and 14th centuries, you frequently see hook-nosed Jews wearing Jewish hats and with black faces. So the idea that Jews were black was definitely there. Before the Enlightenment period. In the 19th century, the idea of Jewish blackness was reinforced by the discovery of all of these actual black Jews in India and Africa, all over the place. And by 1850, the main racial theorists of the day started saying that, yes, actually, Jews are Negroes. Negroes, in some way, are also Jews. This is the conflation. It's partly political, it's partly metaphorical, and it's very, very significantly biological.
No, from birth, I'm a Jew. Only I know that my forefather missed the way.
I grew up alongside every other Igbo youth. We kept on hearing that Igbo people came from Israel.
There was a story my mom told me at the age of 6 years. I never forget. He said, the Igbos are Jews.
Practice, ritual, diet, and song. This is the story of the Igbo, 25 million strong, a people once under siege by their very own government.
Biafra declared its independence.
And a people once captured and shipped across the Atlantic by the hundreds of thousands. A people who helped build America, and a people whose descendants are now discovering their Igbo roots. raising questions of cultural identity for countless African Americans.
Many African Americans actually do not know that they have Igbo heritage. The chances of their being Igbo is much, much higher than their chances of coming from Ghana or from Western Nigeria.
Interestingly enough, I want to ask you a controversial question. They have done some blood samples on the Lemba people. Okay, they have done some blood samples on the Lemba people. What did the result reveal? This is very, very significant. Who wants to take a stab at that?
I'll do that.
Okay. And this is done by the Israeli researchers, right, from Israel?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I don't want to dominate the conversation here, but I'm only because I took part in that exercise.
So you were part of this exercise.
I was.
Tell us, when did it take place? When?
At first, there's a friend of mine. His name is Tudo Pafit.
How many years ago? I'm saying this took place.
That is in 1985.
1980?
Yeah, 85.
85. Okay.
Yeah. He took some samples. He took some samples of the Lemba from Berengwa in the Tazemba. It registers 25%.
Okay.
Jewish.
25% Jewish.
Yes. Then it was repeated again, including the South African Lembas.
Yes.
In some other areas of the Lemba, it registered 45%.
Okay.
Now, when the Israel government heard about about us, that there's something happened that some people in Zimbabwe, they approached me.
The Israeli government approached you?
Yes. They sent me the kit, said, can you get some samples? We don't take blood, we only take saliva from the chicks. Okay. So I collect the saliva on about 60 lembas, then about 10 non-lembas. Then I send them to Israel.
Okay.
Yes, in Tel Aviv. I went to Israel.
You went to Israel, you send them the samples.
To a hospital in Israel.
Okay, and what happened?
Now, they invited me to Israel.
Okay.
Yeah, I went there. Then actually, what happened is that they sent me some, they said you should come. The same moment, also Rabbi Jonathan Bennis sent me to Israel.
Okay.
Just as a friend said, I want to buy a ticket to go to Israel.
Okay.
So I went to Israel. So I told the person who was my contact that the samples you took, said, now, as long as we are coming here, we have to meet. So I met him in Jerusalem. He said, my friend, those samples you brought here, they have caused a stir here in Israel. I said, why do you say so? I said, no, look, you see there's some blacks there from Ethiopia who do the cleaning in the hotels and all that. He said, that boy you're seeing there, his percentage is about 26%. But on you, it's 70%. 70%.
That's significant.
But we cannot release this information because look, there's no land. And you are at war. And it is a desert.
Are you telling me what I think you're telling me? You're saying they know that there is a high percent of Jewishness and the Israeli government would not allow to release this results to the public?
They know.
That's inconceivable.
They know.
A lot of people are waking up now.
What do you think about this topic? Remember to be a Berean scholar, as it is written in the book of Acts 17 verses 11 to 12. Now the Bereans were more noble-minded than the Thessalonians, for they received the message with great eagerness and examined the scriptures every day to see if these teachings were true. It's time to deepen your understanding and see your reflection within the sacred pages. Please click subscribe, and click the notification bell to stay up to date with the Berean Scholar channel.